Hey guys, welcome back into the little painting corner here with the Gimpy. And unfortunately, I have discovered that I have a slight problem with my camera for some damn reason. And this is Apple products. My microphone no longer interfaces with it. Anytime I plug in my microphone, it starts to blur in and out and won't work. I might have to figure out a way to revert it to an old patch or something. I don't know if you guys have any idea. Feel free to put it down in the comments. It drives me friggin' nuts. They put out so much crap just to destroy their stuff. Everything was working great. Perfect microphone, picks up my voice, does really well. And now I can't use it because it destroys the camera and won't let me film anything. It just keeps going blurry in and out, back and forth if I plug in my camera, which has worked fine, or my microphone worked fine up until this point. So my voice isn't going to carry as well in this one as it normally does. I do apologize for that. I'll try to artificially bring up the gain in my video in case my voice is too soft to be heard by the standard microphone. But we're going to carry on where we had left off with our zombie. You can see our zombie here. We got the little zombie blood or zombie flesh, necrotic flesh, pants, boots, some metal parts. So what we need to do is hit his pauldrons here and his little rib area and a little light dry brushing, nothing too major on him. And then hit him with a wash, which is going to be dark and green. We can hit him with the green wash and the dark tone to get good effects. Love the army painter stuff. And for the metal, we're going to be using rough iron. Rough iron is going to be used on the pauldrons. You see the same color that I've got going up here is as close as I could figure that I had for the stuff they were using on the box. So let's get ready here. Give me 1 sec and get my paint stuff set up. I'll tell you what, guys, after watching, some other people paint and some of the stuff that they can churn out, it really does show me that some of the expert painters, the ones that really take it to that next level, are the ones that will prime the sprue itself. So they'll prime this with all the parts on it and paint it before they've ever put the model together. Now, I've never tried that because I'm not to that level. I'm not the one that's going to go to that extreme to paint a miniature. I'll just finagle it, make a little error here or there, because the amount of time and you have to think how dedicated you have to be, because you're not seeing the whole model, right? So you're having to kind of see it in your mind's eye and realize what it's going to look like when it's all put together, and then paint off of that. Those guys, they really take it to that next level. Maybe I'll try that with a miniature one day and see how to get there. I'll tell you, the ones that I've really tried hard with and just done my absolute best to be top of the line were the ones from Kingdom Death Monster. Those I'm actually afraid to paint just because of how expensive they are. I mean, any of you who have got that game know that game is extremely high-end and expensive, but their miniatures are excellent quality. Now, do be careful, though, because there are some knockoffs on eBay going around, and they're like cast and whatever crap. So some Chinese company will make a mold of one of their models and then do a cheap casting. I decided one time, I was like, okay, I'm going to order one just to see what the difference is. And I ordered it and never got it. So it's not just are you going to get the cheaper version of the model? It's like, are you actually going to get the model? So I would recommend absolutely avoiding it. And of course, those knockoff sellers are doing it big time for games like Kingdom Death and of course 40K. You know, they'll take some Forge World stuff and make a cast and make a bunch of copies of it and try to sell that stuff off. So just make sure you're paying attention to that. If you're on eBay and you see someone selling something that you know, okay, there's no possible way they're selling this at that price. No, more than likely, it's a knockoff. It's teach their own. You can get whatever the hell you want, but there's a reason the good stuff cost a little bit more. Now, definitely Forge World shit is way overcosted for what you're getting. They charge something like $1,000 or more for some of their models. That's just ridiculous. I mean, it's a freaking hobby. I think they would get more people into the game if they just weren't so overcosted on everything. They would have more people playing. Like X-Wing. X-Wing, you guys know I love X-Wing. I love me some X-Wing. And the thing is, you can buy enough models to play X-Wing for under $100 easy. I mean, you could play just with a couple of starter kits if you wanted to, but you can play a good competitive team. I mean, maybe not like top tier competitive, but a decently competitive team for, 3 or 4 models worth. They already come painted. They come with all the cards and everything you need. So I really think Fantasy Flight has it on lockdown, the way that they do their models versus the way that 40K does theirs. Because, come on, 40K will have a model like this, right? Right? I mean, good looking model and everything, but they'll have a model like this, but just because it's a higher costed model, points wise, they'll charge $30 for it or $40 for it. And it's like, come the hell, no. What do you think of 40K? No. Bad Games Workshop. Don't do that crap. If they would charge a decent price, $5, $10, something like that for a model kit, it'd be a hell of a lot better. Like, think about it. A tank minimum, what are they now? $50? That was like 10 years ago. $100 for a good tank? Shit, they charge you through the nose for this stuff. I don't know. You guys know me. I love GW stuff. I complain about it all the time. I love their stuff. I think they got good models. I just think that they're way overcosted. That's why I think they sell these box set stuff at a more reasonable price, because they want it to be plastic crack to get you into the game. So you'll start buying the rest of their plastic crack. And if they would lower their price, they would get more people into it. All right, so next we're going to, and you might be seeing tiny little white spots there on the armor. I can't tell if it's a reflection from the lights or not, so I'll check that out later just to make sure to touch it up here and there. But I'm thinking I'm going to go with the Warlock Purple, all right, for the inside, for the guts, and then splash it with a red wash. I think that'll give me the guts look that I want. And I was trying to decide if I was even going to touch on the ribs or not, but I don't know. I'm almost thinking that I just leave them white, because they're ribs. The wash will dirty them up enough anyway that I'm going to do it to make them look dirty and bloody. But putting the bone on them, I think the bone color is going to be too close to the necrotic flesh. You see, I mean, they're different enough if you're looking at them, but when you get just a small little bit right there next to each other, I think the bone will stand out more if it's white. So let's try this. We're going to do a little Warlock Purple, and this one doesn't have little ball bearings in it yet, so I got to put a ball bearing in it. All right, give me a sec. Let me put in a ball bearing, shake this up, and we'll paint this set of guts purple. All right, so one of the things I found with some of these paints is that some of them don't adhere quite as well. They're almost like a contrast paint from GW, some of their new paints, which I don't have any of those, so I need to get one to try it out, see how it is. But the Warlock Purple is one of those. It's just a little thinner on the pigment, and it's not sticking quite as well. I mean, it's hitting the creases, you can see, the darker spots, which actually is working out fairly decent. I haven't decided if I'm going to leave it that way or not. I might hit it with another coat to darken it up a little bit, but I might just leave her as it is because it's working pretty well. And I got to remember that this is going to darken it up when I hit it with the red tone, right? So this is going to really pinken all that up. And if you look at the box, right, when you look at this, the guts are kind of like dry brushed in a white. So I wasn't going to worry too much about dry brushing the guts, but if I leave it with that effect where the paint's kind of sitting into the darker recesses, and like I said, I'm going to hit this with a red wash, I think that'll do okay, just as it is. So you'll have the pink, purplish down in the creases, looking all gutty, with a little red splash of blood kind of across it. So we'll have to see if that works out. Let me hit it real quick. I'm going to do, because it's so hard to see here at the top, but it looks like zombie hair, but it's kind of like barely there. Really, it's hard to pick out. The details aren't great, but I think I'm just going to dry brush the top of his head just a little bit with a little bit of brown just to make the hair stand out a little bit. It's just, it does not show on the box very well. Yeah, it looks like just maybe a little bit of hair or maybe a little bit of gap in the skull. Yeah, there's tiny little gap there, but I'm not good enough to pull that off. I'm just not that good. So I'm going to hit this little bit of hair that's here with just a little bit of a brown just to make it stand out, make it look like some dingy bad hair. Actually, for this, we're going to go with a dirt splatter. I think that'll work. Dirty hair, dirt splatter. So we'll hit this with a dry brush. Let me find my favorite beat all to hell dry brush. Here she is. That one has definitely seen some use in its days. My favorite dry brush. This thing just hits everything. So we're going to put this on, get a little bit on the brush, and just wave that back and forth just to make those little hair follicles that are still there stand out. Yeah, so I think that worked. Gave us just a little bit. I mean, it's not perfect, but just a little hint to take that hair and show it, if you guys can see that. I know it's just a little bit, but it makes those little follicles stand out just that little bit to give us some contrast and some difference there. I think that works. And it looks like our guts are almost dried out. And that's actually matching pretty well. So I think I'm going to leave that as is. And we're just going to wash it. So let's hit it real quick with our dark tone. Actually, yeah, we're going to do the dark tone over the boots, the metal, and the pants, and the pauldrons. We're going to do the green over the skin, and then we're going to do the red over the guts. All right, so let me do the dark first. Which one's my dark? All right, yeah, we're going to do the dark over the pants, boots, metal, and the pauldrons up here. Probably not going to be able to hit that chest piece, that chest chain. It's just too small. Maybe be able to nick it, but we'll see. Our wash on here. And I usually go pretty heavy on the wash. Just use your brush to move it around. Try to avoid that skin. You just want it to bring out the contours and the details of your model. Move that wash to wherever you want it to be. And I found Army Painter stuff is pretty good about hitting those recesses. Like it's got the flow aid in it that will cause it to go where you need it to go, rather than just flow everywhere. Okay. Hit this little side right there. Yeah, you see how it kind of helps bring out that metal, dingies it up just a little bit. And of course, I mean, it's real wet right now, so it's going to look iffy. But once it dries out, and you can just mainly see that dark where it's settled, really gives it a nice look. Just move it around, hit these boots, darken them up. Not a whole lot to stand out on the boots, but I like to hit them just in case there's any little details that'll stand out. This little metal piece down here, though, definitely want to hit that. And plus, like I said, the washes help with any tiny little spots you might have missed when you're painting, because it's going to color that spot over. It's going to darken it or make it more match whatever that undertone is. So if you've missed and there's a tiny little white spot of primer somewhere, usually your washes can cover that stuff up, so you're not as messed up later on. I'm not horribly worried about hitting these pauldrons because they don't pick up too much, but it does darken it up. Got a little bit on there, too much. And I want them to match the other guys that I've already painted. So that looks pretty good there. Try and make sure we're getting all these little spots to stand out. I'm moving it around, trying to keep it off the fleshy parts. All right, I think that's pretty good. All right, let's hit our necrotic flesh. And by the time we hit that, oh wait, crap. I got his wrist piece left. I need just a little drop on here to hit this little spot right there. There we go. Get the underside of that. Don't need much on it. If it gets where you don't want it, just use your brush to sop it up just a little bit. There we go. Now let's get ourselves some green, and you guys are gonna see it. When you hit that green over that necrotic flesh, it really just brings it out, really just brings it to that next level. Shake it up just a little bit. And a couple of drops will do this. Don't need a lot. And let's hit this with a little bit of green wash. Bring it down just a little bit. All right. This leg, yeah, look at that. Look how that leg already just stands out so much when you hit it with that wash. That necrotic flesh with the green wash, man, just brings the model to that whole other level. Really gives you a good zombie effect. That dead flesh, rotten stuff. And it's standing out. It's very green right now. But like I said, it's going to dry out. And you'll get that type of stuff going on. Flip over like that. Looks so good when it's dried out. All right, let's get chest. Gotta stay away from that cavity. All right, wipe across his face here. And there are some more parts, meat parts have little holes in them, but again, like I said, I'm not worrying about all the tiny details. If this were a model that was like a major model, like a captain or something like that, or a named character, then yeah, I'm going to spend more time on characters like that than I am just generic zombies. But I've already spent so much time on this generic zombie because I'm using him to film and paint with that it's taken forever. Usually when I'm doing groups like this, I'll hit them in batches. So whatever color I'm working on, whatever model it is, I'll get all the zombies together and I'll do all the green and then do all the metal and do all the whatever. Try to get kind of a assembly line going with them. And doing that way, you can get a group of models painted fairly quickly. If you get it going in the right order and you just kind of chug along with it. But like I said, if you're doing just a quick, you want something just to look decent on the table. You don't even have to do all that much to it. Hit it with a couple of big colors and a wash after you've primed it, of course. Something like that can be table ready very, very, very quickly. There's a good painting channel I saw, like quick paints, you know, how to paint this in under an hour, paint this and whatever. So just look that up on YouTube. You can see a lot of that stuff. Look at it. Look at it. Eyes popping, looking all zombified. Looks good, doesn't it? That wash, I'm telling you, the wash just pops. Just that little kiss brings it to the next level. It makes you look like a good painter when you're not. Makes it look like Gimpy knows what the hell he's doing when he doesn't. Well, I love this stuff, man. I used to paint without washes, and my stuff looked like garbage. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, wow, this looks so cool. And all I was doing was basically putting base paints on it, like base colors. Like, oh, his coat is brown. His boots are whatever. His jeans are blue. Look at it. Wow, this is amazing. No, Gimpy, that is really not amazing. All right, so I'm just going to daub this red in here just a little bit. Try not to wash it out too much. Touch the ribs just a little bit to pinken them up. I got a lot in there. Just want to bloody those guts up a little bit. Have it in the recesses. I think this is going to work. And it's still giving me a light look on it. And there you go. The ribs and the skin around it now have just that little bit of a pink to them. A little bit of a red tinge like they've been torn open. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. It's mixing with a little bit of the green, giving it a rotten look. I think that's going to work. I think that's going to finish up our zombie here. Took me way longer than it should have. But I think that zombie's going to look good on the table. I mean, it's not going to look bad. You know what I mean? You don't have to put in massive amounts of time to churn out a decent model. Like I said, a few different colors. You could even, if you wanted to do this even quicker, I mean, green for the rotten flesh. You could pick one color for the metal, whatever it is. Same for the pauldrons, wouldn't matter. Do one color for the rotten pants and the boots. So you could do this basically 4 colors, right? Prime it and do the skin, the metal, the clothes, and the guts, and then hit it with a wash. Yeah, you could do that very quickly, especially if you were doing a little chain of them. Hit this color, bam, on all of them. By the time you're done with that first color, the previous, you can go back to the first one, hit the next color, go down the chain, and just keep doing one after another. You could get all your zombies painted in probably under an hour if you were chugging away at it, not let little things like kids and wives and eating and breathing, using the bathroom, all that good stuff distract you. All right, but yeah, that'll finish up our zombie. Stay tuned. Like I said, I am going to, in my spare time, probably finish the rest of this Blood Bowl team up off camera, just because I want to get them done with and try to get a little more Blood Bowl in front of the camera, because I freaking love Blood Bowl. Blood Bowl is just awesome. And I really want to play with my zombie team. But after that, we are going to get into some more Blackstone Fortresses coming up when I get this group painted up. Unfortunately, Blackstone Fortress, I did film a series of it back in the day. Only the first episode got up. For some damn reason, it corrupted on me, and I lost the following 2 episodes. So I'll probably start that series anew. I don't know. I really want to get this servitor into it because the servitor's freaking awesome. And some of these other new models that are in the game as well. They just look so friggin' cool, man. What do they call these guys? The Mechanicus or Machine God or whoever the hell they work for. The bad guys of Mars. Really got to try these guys out. Some good stuff to get in there. And Blackstone Fortress is definitely one of their good games. They had another one, now they had Silver Tower. I don't have Silver Tower. I was thinking about getting it, but I was like, wait, they have a newer one. And the newer one was like Hammerfall or Hammerfell. But I don't believe it could be played solitaire. I think you needed an actual GM player to play that one. And that's why I ended up deciding not to get that one. But I might end up looking into getting Silver Quest at some point. But we're definitely going to have to do some Blackstone Fortress first. So that'll be on down the line. All right, that's going to be it for this one. You guys definitely let me know what else you think that you'd like to see painted after the Blackstone Fortress stuff. Maybe some Indominus. We will have to see. Y'all take care. I'll catch you in the next one.